Every year, Los Angeles is in danger of fires, landslides, and earthquakes. This issue, ColorLines Magazine, explores what a natural disaster could look like in Southern California. Now, meet the people behind the story who are trying to change the future of their communities. First, meet Jesse Marquez. He is the Executive Director of Communities for a Better Environment in Wilmington, California. He knows firsthand the dangers of living in a poor, Latino neighborhood surrounded by the nation's busiest port and refineries.
Up until the 1980s, there was a major oil refinery here called Fletcher Oil Refinery. And when I was 16 years old, there was an explosion of one of their fuel tanks. It literally looked just like a big atomic bomb blowing off. My parents just looked at us and said, "Look at kids, we're not going to make it to the corner. Run to the neighbor's house, run to the backyard, and then jump over the fence. We'll try to get over the fence." And we were forced to have to do our own evacuation at the time. Every member of my family was burned. My mother, my father, my grandmother received third-degree burns on her neck.
That happened when Jesse was 16. Today, the picture's even more dismal.
The public, we're on our own. And the sad part about it, we have never received any training information as to what to do. And it's a responsibility of these different refineries, cities and counties and federal government agencies. They're responsible for educating the communities as to what to do in the event of an emergency.
This is Ellis Stanley, General Manager for the Los Angeles Emergency Preparedness Department.
We have about 18 people in our department. This new budget, we should increase that by about 13. So it's still a work in progress. That's compared to a New York who has 125. That we're responsible for assuring that we have the ability to respond to and recover from disasters. We do that through developing plans. We do that by having training programs for the first responder.
But the truth is, many of Los Angeles Black and Latino residents are worried that Ellis Stanley's team can't make it to the neighborhoods when disaster strikes.
They're not the first responders. The first responders are us when we get up off the floor.
This is Horace Penman. He lives in South Central Los Angeles.
We take the first step of recovery after we get up off the ground. Nobody else will be there.
Horace is captain of CAN-DO, Community and Neighbors for 9th District Unity, a neighborhood council.
South Central is 85% Latino, 10% African American.
Horace isn't waiting for any help to come to him or his neighbors should disaster strike. He doesn't believe the city is ready.
They never really considered it. I'm sure that in their wisdom, they built maybe different places around the city that they can open up for emergency centers for people, I think, that's in the city operations to go to themselves. But for the community at large, no.
This is Professor Christine Rodriguez. She has been studying natural and technological disasters for more than 20 years.
In a natural disaster, race is a very strong axis of vulnerability. So realize that people are structured in different groups in our society as in any other, and that these different groups have different access to power, and they have different resources to learn about, evade, or recover from a natural disaster.
Horace is using everything he can. A retired physical education teacher, he is now using shortwave radios and global positioning satellite systems.
I opened up a repeater in San Gabriel Mountain.
He has developed evacuation routes, including a plan for a helicopter landing at the local high school football field, and has even learned how to ride a horse so he can transfer those who can't help themselves out of Los Angeles. Horace continues to volunteer his time and worry about his friends and neighbors. Similar to what happened in New Orleans, evacuation plans and resources in Los Angeles are not reaching poor communities of color who need them the most. Without a new strategy from the city and state, thousands of Blacks and Latinos like Jesse and Horace will have no way out when disaster hits.